Hello and welcome to Delta College Impact. I'm Roger Waller, your host for today's program. And on today's show, we're going to talk about the agricultural program here at Delta College. If you go anywhere in the world and you mention San Joaquin and San Joaquin County, people are going to think agriculture. And on today's program, we're going to learn a little bit more about our agricultural program. And joining me on the first segment, I have two great guests. And we have Jim Burkhardt, who's our farm manager, and Dave Dotson, who's one of our instructors in the agricultural program. And Jim, because you're sitting closest to me, we get to start with you a little bit. But one of the things I think a lot of people who drive down I-99 will see the Delta College farm, but never stop, never really think about it. How large is the farm and what do we grow down there?
Okay, the farm is located, of course, on 99 and Lathrop Road. And when you drive down I-9, you see just a basic segment of it, the old almond variety trials. It's actually a 157-acre complex. We have an animal science. We have our UC variety trials. We have alfalfa fields that we use for the animals. We have a vineyard, and also the swine unit and the lamb unit.
That's amazing when you start to think about these things that we drive past and we don't even see. And I know, Dave, one of the things that we have is we have that link between our classes here on campus as well as courses that we run down at the farm. And maybe you can talk a little bit about our ag program.
Okay, well, the classes that we have in animal science, plant science, soil science, natural resources can have an opportunity there to experience some hands-on real industry applications to their course content. It's a little difficult in the sense of the distance is about a 20-minute drive from our campus, but it still gives a student a large operating commercial ranch to experience.
And I think that's a great point, Jim, because Dave talked about the large farm operation that we run, and a lot of people may not realize, but we pump out some pretty good volume in certain activities down there. And I know you mentioned the almonds and some of the other products that we have down there, and we use that to raise money. And you actually sell this stuff?
Yeah, we have contracts with the Blue Diamond and Gallo for our wine grapes, and those commodities that we do sell help supply the general fund, which in turn helps supply us. The main thing at the farm is our UC variety trials, which are known worldwide, Spain, any of the growing areas of almonds, because we have 50 different varieties out there that we test and see how they go. And then there's also some experimental UC Davis ones that we test for tonnage, disease, insects, and all that information is available in the community and also worldwide, so they can pull this variety trials up from back in 1978 and see how these particular varieties have fared through the years and what their tonnage is. And the local farmers will also are privileged to that information, so that helps them out.
And so we really provide not only the product, but the education that we're learning about what sort of diseases might be attacking our product, but as well as the output that we're being able to generate.
A farmer can go in there and look at the different varieties and say, is this going to be an economic for me to plant this? And if it's not, or if it pencils out for him, he can do that, where he wouldn't have that opportunity anyplace else.
One of the things I guess that Jim had mentioned, Dave, is the link with UC Davis. And I guess we can talk a little bit about our program as far as what sort of degrees our students come out with and what sort of experiences they get in the educational program.
Okay, yeah. Oh, first of all, the links are with University of California, as you mentioned, the extension arm. In our CS, we're just collaborating with right now and looking at a program to convert our irrigation system and upgrade it and modernize it, try to become a little more sustainable. One of the ideas is to maybe use our farm as a model for sustainable agriculture in the future. Other collaboration is done with 4-H and FFA members. They have some livestock sales out there. We invite students in high school to come out and explore and learn and participate. As far as our classroom, what was your question again?
Well, one of the keys is to think about what sort of courses our students, they'll get an associate degree in an agricultural area, but they also can gain some certificates in areas as well.
Right. Yes, we have the certificate program, which is 1 year of courses that leaves out some of the general ed type coursework that some students don't want to take the time to participate in. That 1 year certificate could prepare them for a job in ornamental horticulture, plant sciences, agribusiness, or animal science. If you wanted to do the extra coursework for general education, then you can get your Associate of Science or Associate of Arts degree, which is a 2-year degree, and also improves your employability. And a good number of our students are also taking courses that will directly apply. We're articulated with most of the major ag colleges in the state for 4-year degrees, Bachelor of Science degrees, or even on to master's and graduate work. So,
and that's great. And one of the things we're going to do is we're going to take everybody on a tour of our farm and give you a chance to see a little bit of some of the activities that go on down at the farm. And Jim, you might want to talk people through as they start to see our Manteca Center Farm location.
Okay, this is the actual Manteca Center classroom area where we have our labs and also do general education at that facility. This is the old almond block here. It was planted in 1978, and that was one of the original UC variety trial block.
Now, periodically, you have to replant and take out...
They're usually good for about 20-25 years. This is looking at the pasture where we house our sheep and cattle. That's fences was all put in by student labor. On the left there is the Chenin Blanc vineyard. On the right is the new UC variety trial that was planted in 1993.
Let me chime in if I could. There's a just a small amount of Thompson seedless and Barbera grapes, and one of the current projects is to diversify and have more varieties. Since we are the largest grape area in the state of California, concentration of grapes, that's an area that we'd like to develop.
Mm-hmm.
And on one of the one of the almond trials, also done by Dr. Brown at UC Davis, is nationally renowned for tracing nitrogen from soil through plant, through all stages of plant, and that information has just been released within the last year.
And this is some of our pasture here that we have our show lambs that we raise. Once a year we have a lamb sale, usually in the month of February, that local people will buy for the 4-H and FFA project lambs, and it's a moneymaker for us and also helps out on the college name out there.
That's right, and so you
quality.
can get that good quality Delta College lamb.
Yes,
yeah,
for your project.
We have a home winemaking course as well, and one of the goals is to diversify again and get more varieties to be used in the home winemaking and make our own wine here.
And these are looking down at the Chenin Blanc rows. It's flood irrigated. We're looking at having that taken out and put in some state-of-the-art irrigation system there.
Did I tell you, Roger, you can buy some San Joaquin Delta College Cabernet?
You know, that's what I'll talk to you after the show, Dave, about
these. You all know you can.
Here's
buy.
the classroom. This is these are the lab centers here. Underneath those are lock cabinets with our microscopes, and we can do a total lab there. And there's also audio-visual there, where we can have a faculty member from on campus actually teach a class down there.
And I know that's one of the things that we should point out to people who live in the Manteca area, is that they can be taking some of our general education courses down at that Manteca Center, as well as agricultural courses.
And we're looking at expanding the site to another 5 acres as a satellite for that area, for the Manteca, Tracy area.
Mm-hmm. So when you look at that site as you drive down 99, there's a lot more to it than just that building.
Exactly.
And one of the things that you can start to think about, it's located at 5298 Brunswick Road, so that those of you in the Manteca area, if you are interested in taking some of the off-campus classes, you can go down to the Manteca Center and just become a Delta student. You don't have to sign up for those ag classes. But one thing I do want to point out, and Dave, I should let you brag a little bit, and we want to brag about Dave, is that a few years Dave was named a, what was that award you won, Dave?
Agri-Science Teacher of the Year.
For the state of California, and I think that that's a terrific honor. And Dave, you might give some people an idea what your background is as far as how you got into this field.
Okay, well, I went to community college as well in Ventura, and then Cal Poly Pomona for the bachelor's work and my graduate work at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. And I wasn't raised on a farm. I was raised in a suburban area, interface between urban and agriculture, but just had a love for it from the beginning, as far back as I can remember. So knew right off the bat I wanted it to be my vocation and career education. So.
And what specific courses do you teach here at Delta?
Natural Resource Conservation is called NR2, and which is all UC and CSU transferable. I get you credit for their life science and soil science, which is physical science accredited at both UC and CSU. So those are great courses for transferability as well as getting indoctrinated to ag. Then all of the plant science courses too. We're trying to build that program and get more students involved, especially in light of the industry in our area. Seems there is a demand for students trained in the plant science areas. 16 of our top 20 commodities in California agriculture are plant related. So it's an area that needs to be expanded and built upon. And the farm would be a key player in that process.
Well, one of the things I know that we can talk about, and we're going to show some more shots as we start to take a look at the mountain ranch operation, and what's that involved in?
That would be a natural resource application, again hands-on, 60 acres up there, and I guess it's been somewhat dormant in the fact that no one here on the campus has used it much of late. We are planning a trip next week, as a matter of fact, with some administrators and faculty that could use that farm or that site. It's about approximately 60 acres of forest land in the foothills that has great natural resource, environmental science, or even some of the biological, ecological studies. Some great potential there, but we need to discover it first.
Well, that's some of the exciting opportunities that students and the college have the chance of getting involved in, is more work in the environment. And I know, Jim, maybe you can talk a little bit about some of these. Probably you've seen this guy wandering around the farm down there.
As well know, we have a judging team and a show team that we have that the Animal Science puts on, and they've been doing very well this year at Cal Palace. And this is our swine competition here. We do all phases. We have the swine, sheep, and cattle. So students are very involved on that. And we also have we have 4 students that actually live on the premises and maintain the facility animals. So that is a key for them, where they have the opportunity to be a hands-on and actually get some work done there for us as a college.
Well, and I think that the sound that, as everyone has been listening to the program, has been sensing, is it's really the hands-on chance for students. I mean, you can talk a lot about the classroom, but the opportunity of the farm is that people get that opportunity to get their hands dirty, literally, and not just figuratively.
That's what it's all about. We also have, in the engineering field, we have a tractor driving course, which is very interesting when they come down there, and it's like a demolition derby at one time, but they get a feel for different vehicles. They have from a crawler to a wheel tractor to a skid steer to pulling a disc, where some people have never experienced that in their life. They've never been behind a disc or a land plane. So it's an interesting deal for them. Sometimes you need to stay out of the way, but
that's right. That's a role of the teacher.
But that's what that's what it's all about, is to get them experience with this, so that when they come to a place, they says, yes, I had a little bit of experiences. Now just teach me a little bit more, and that's what we're all about.
Now, one of the things I know that we can probably give people an idea about, again, as they drive past, is the rotation of the crops. I mean, we always talk about computers being 24/7 now, but farms are 24/7 too. And how do you look at the seasons change down on the farm?
Well, for us, we have permanent orchards with our vineyard and our almond crops. Our alfalfa is more of our seasonal, as far as we use that for hay for the animal science, and we sell it out. We have our pastures that we use our seasonal winter for their winter pasture out there, and we also for our summer pasture. But a lot of the things that we do out there is a rotation. The winter starts to slow down, but we're still busy doing other things. Like this time of the year, we're doing our pruning, getting ready for the grapes for their pruning, and disking, weed control. So it all every time of the year you have something going on.
Yeah. So it's a real farm.
Yes.
We would like to diversify a little bit and get some other crops in the fruit and vegetable area as well. And that would add to the diversity and the seasonal changes and give students more of an experience. There's also 2 other avenues I might mention: work experience, in which a student can get units and in some cases pay, and special problems, we call it, in a particular area where a student sets up a problem or a research area and conducts that on their own at their own time and convenience with the supervision of an instructor for units as well. So it looks good on a resume, and it's a great use of the farm.
And it's, again, the learning experience and the hands-on opportunity that students will have by participating in our farm operation. Now, one thing I do want to point out is on the second half of the program, we're going to actually be talking with 2 students and finding out if this really happens and how dirty their hands actually get when they're down at the farm and operating in our agricultural program here at Delta College. I want to thank Jim Burkhardt, who's our farm manager here at Delta, for joining me and giving us everyone an opportunity to see the farm and what goes on behind that little building off of I-99, and Dave Dotson for joining me and talking a little bit about our agricultural program. So what I'd like to do is ask you all to stay tuned, and right after a brief public service message, we're going to be back to talk with a couple of students about the agriculture program here at Delta College. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Roger.
Hello and welcome back to Delta College Impact. I'm Roger Waller, your host for today's program. And on the first half of the show, you learned a little bit about the Delta College Farm and our agricultural program. And on the second half of the program, we're going to be talking with 2 students about the program and learning a little bit about their experiences here at Delta College. Joining me on the second half of the program, we have Rebecca Sayer. And Rebecca's a student who has come from out of the area to join us. And also joining us on the second half is Garrett Wilkerson, and Garrett has come to us from out of the state to join us here at Delta College. So Rebecca, let's talk a little bit about you and your background. How'd you get here to Delta College?
Well, I graduated from Alhambra High School in Martinez, and I had kind of been referred here by a friend because in my area, the junior colleges that they have there don't have agricultural programs, so that's why I decided to come here, because of the agricultural program.
Now, when did you decide you wanted to get into agriculture? I mean, was this sort of
I've
as
been
a child?
involved, in livestock my whole life, so
That's
I knew that I
unique.
wanted to have something to do with agricultural in my career.
Huh. What was it that started? Did you like animals as a child?
Actually, I've been showing cattle and horses, so I've been showing horses my whole life, so it's kind of, and I was in 4-H for 11 years.
Are your parents into the business?
Yeah.
Ah,
So.
okay, all right. So it was sort of something that was there, and you said, hey, that's kind of
Yeah.
neat. You want to continue that.
Right.
Now, Garrett, let me ask you the same question. Now, I know you're not even from California. How'd you ever get here to
No, I'm
Delta
not.
College?
I'm from Oregon, actually, southern portion, and I graduated from Crater High School in Central Point, Oregon. And I had decided that I was going to go to a junior college, and down the road I plan on majoring in agricultural area, probably ag communications or something along those lines. And I had, in high school, I was actively involved in the FFA, and through that I was in livestock judging. And within the United States there is a collegiate livestock judging program, and Delta has a very impressive one. And so I was talked to and offered a scholarship to come here, so that's why I'm here.
Yeah. Now, those scholarships, we should point out, are raised through a lot of effort here at Delta College. And I know you two had an opportunity to work on one of those fundraising activities. You might talk about our steak and oyster program. I guess we fed a lot of people and raised about how much money?
It was about around $40,000.
$40,000 for
Yeah.
the program.
And so one of the things, whenever you hear about some of these programs here at Delta College, these are the output of some of that money, because these students are receiving the outcome of those donations, and really helpful. Now, Rebecca, let's talk a little bit about this. Now, you're showing these animals. Now, let's talk a little bit about the Delta programs. Jim Burkhardt on the first half talked about the farm. What sort of animals are you showing?
We have swine, we have sheep, and then we have cattle. And we have an actual class, like we have a show team class, and we go and we take care of the animals and get it prepared to take to shows, and there's a whole group of people and we all go to the shows, and everybody shows a different species. So.
Now, Garrett, when you show them, is it just like, here, this is a swine, and...
No, there's an art to it. Really, the presentation of the animal can determine how well you do in the competition. And so through the class, it's quite important, and we take a lot of time in teaching the students, as we are a couple of the students in that class, how to do that properly, what you need to do. There's a lot that goes into getting that animal ready to do its best at the competition. So.
And now the value of understanding and showing an animal is that I assume that after this you get an idea of what's a good animal and what's sort of a good way to breed, what's the right thing to have in your herd when you're running the farm. Is that the plan?
Yeah, our farm is, I think we raise market lambs, which we sell to 4-H and FFA members throughout the valley and throughout the state, actually, to exhibit at their local county fairs. The animals you see there, those are, they may have come from our sale. And it's really industry-driven, very up-to-date. Our animals are, can be competitive in many different areas of the state. And so.
Now, I should, Rebecca, we should let you brag a little bit about the team here, because you guys ever win any of these contests?
Yeah, our advanced team won the last 3 competitions that we had.
In livestock judging.
In livestock judging,
Yeah.
and everybody, all of our team members placed pretty high, so we had...
Now, who competes against you? Is this...
other junior colleges.
and so, and you go-
Modesto,
Santa Rosa.
Santa Rosa, there's Merced, there's several different colleges.
And where are these competitions held? Are they, held here in the county, or do you actually get a chance to travel?
We went to one in Chico, California, and Davis.
And we went to one in Oregon.
Yes, we did.
Medford,
Yeah,
Oregon. We
Southern
went up
Oregon.
there.
And I know that one of the things that's a great opportunity for our students is that you get to travel all over the place. And so Garrett and Rebecca have had a chance to do some traveling, and I know you go beyond this realm too. Where have other students gone in these competitions?
Eventually, for the livestock judging end of the program, you'll be able to go throughout the United States, Louisville, Kentucky, Denver, all over Texas, Houston, Fort Worth, places like that, so that you get a lot of traveling experience throughout many different regions of the United States.
So again, one of the things you heard about in the first half of the show are students getting their hands dirty, and here are a couple of examples. You get to travel and get your hands dirty. Now, Rebecca, when you look at the courses and the classes that you're taking here at Delta College, and some students out there might be thinking, gee whiz, what am I going to get involved in? Maybe you can talk about one of your favorite classes here at Delta.
My favorite class would have to be my animal science class. It's 3 days a week. It's just a general animal science class, but a lot of the teachers and staff here make the classes a lot of fun, and I've learned a lot, and they're just generally fun classes. They're really nice classes here.
Well, see, I'm not going to put you on the spot. I'm going to ask Garrett a question here, but I'm going to come back to you and say, give us a little piece of trivia from one of the classes that we can impress our friends with here in a moment. So think about a little piece of trivia here. Garrett, what's your favorite class, and what do you find interesting here at the program?
As far as the ag classes, I really enjoy the animal presentation class held at the farm. And it's really great because there's so many different kids from many different walks of life. You have kids who've never stepped foot on a farm, and you have kids who've lived on a farm their entire life. And really, there's a lot of social interaction that you get to experience through that course, and many different experiences and things that you're able to learn so much better hands-on. That I really enjoy that, and the social interaction is great.
Oh yeah, I think that really helps in a class. All right, Rebecca, what's sort of a good trivia piece, maybe about an animal that you could, if I'm walking past a cow, I could impress my my wife or a friend with some knowledge here.
Well, one thing that I learned in animal science at the beginning of the year was what a capon was. We were discussing the different names of animals, like a neutered cow is a steer, and a capon is actually a neutered chicken. And I mean, nobody had known it, and there was a lot of people in my class that they'd been around animals and stuff their whole life and knew all the other names for that, but nobody had known what a capon was, and that was kind of our little interesting little fact of the week, and our teacher made it pretty interesting about what it was.
Oh, that is excellent. I never knew that. All right, you'll never guess what I'm going to ask you, Garrett. But do you have a little piece of trivia that I can share with my friends too? Rebecca did a great job, and Rebecca currently is on my list to call on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire if I'm on the show here about this kind of stuff. I tell you what, I'll give you 30 seconds here, and we're going to ask Rebecca a question here. Rebecca, one of the things as you come down here to classes, and you take some of the classes down at the farm as well
Correct,
as
yeah.
courses here. How's the split?
Well, actually, I take some general courses at the farm, and I also take my ag classes at the farm, and I take general classes here and ag classes at the campus. And I really like having the opportunity to take classes down at the farm because it's closer to where I live. And they, like Jim had said, that they do have general courses there, so you can take an English class down there and get that out of the way. I'm currently taking speech down there, so it works out very, very nice.
Oh, that's
So,
great.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm anxiously awaiting this little bit of trivia here.
Piece
Garrett.
of trivia related to animals.
Oh, yeah, I think we better narrow it down here. Yeah, something in the ag program here. So you're not going to tell me about who batted 319-27 or something. Oh, this is not.
There's a lot of different things that.
How about when you show an animal? What's something that you make sure you're pointing out to people?
Whenever you're presenting an animal, there's a judge that's obviously in the ring with you, determining how good of a job you're doing, and a little something that it's basic, but something that a lot of people maybe don't understand is when you're presenting the animal, you never want to get in the judge's way of looking at that animal.
So you have to position yourself.
It's all in positioning yourself.
It's just like basketball. You're having to make sure where everybody's standing. Well, I tell you, now I know what a capon is now, and I hope that you do also. And one of the things that I want to thank, our two guests on giving a little bit better idea of what's going on here at the Delta Ag program. And again, I want to remind you that those of you who drive past on I-99, you see the Manteca Center Farm at 5298 Brunswick Road. And in addition to agricultural classes, we're also offering some general education classes, as Rebecca pointed out. And the next thing that you might be interested in is saying, hey, how do I find out how to get involved in this program? Well, the thing to do is to contact our Applied Science and Technology Department here at Delta College, and you can call them at 954-5230. Find out about the program, some of our courses, and some of the opportunities that lie ahead for you in the field of agriculture. Well, I certainly want to thank my two guests on this half of the program and my two guests on the first half for helping to give you a better opportunity of learning about our agriculture program here at Delta College. Thanks for watching, and we hope you watch some future impact programs. Thanks again. Bye-bye.